can abuse its power all day long, and anybody who complains about it will get a visit from the secret police. In an established democracy, abuse of power cannot afford to be visible. It needs concealment, like a vampire needs the dark. As soon as a corporation or a trade union or a government or any arm of the state is seen to be breaking the rules, it can be attacked, potentially embarrassed, conceivably stopped. Secrets and lies are not an optional extra. They are central to the strategy. In this case, the concealment had an extra layer because news organizations which might otherwise have exposed the truth were themselves part of the abuse. And so they kept silent, indulging in a comic parody of misreporting, hiding the emerging scandal from their readers like a Victorian nanny covering the children's eyes from an accident in the street. You don't want to see this. Some did this because they were linked to the crime by common ownership or by their own guilty secrets about the law-breaking in their own newsrooms. Some turned away for fear of upsetting their political allies. Too many journalists had simply ceased to function as independent truth-tellers, separate from and critical of the people they were writing about. The crime reporter made common cause with the police and also with criminals. The political correspondent developed a loyalty to one party or faction. The media reporter became a tool for his or her owner. The news executive turned into a preening powermonger puffed with wealth and self-importance, happy to join the elite and not to expose it. Or rather like the final moment of Animal Farm, when the pigs who have led the revolt against the humans have come to adopt the behavior of the rulers they were supposed to challenge. The creatures outside looked from pig to man and from man to pig and from pig to man again. But already it was impossible to say which was which. The story of the phone hacking scandal happens to have unfolded in the United Kingdom, but it could have happened anywhere in the world. News Corps itself has spent years playing the power game in Australia and the United States and China, and anywhere else where its commerce has led it. Those other countries have suffered comparable abuse by News Corps and by other similar forces. The structures of power and the weakness of democracy are more or less the same everywhere. A freakish sequence of events allowed us to see the truth in the UK, but it delivers a lesson for anybody anywhere who thinks they have the right to have power over their own lives. In the end, the struggle by the small group of people who tried to uncover the hacking scandal was taken over by others who exposed even more. In writing this book, I've been able to draw on the massive evidence which emerged eventually in civil lawsuits, criminal trials, select committee hearings in the House of Commons, and above all, through the public inquiry which was chaired by Lord Justice Leveson in London from the autumn of 2011. In the background, however, we relied consistently on the help of tabloid journalists, police officers, private investigators, government officials, former Murdoch allies and others who refused to accept the corruption around them. Some were able to speak openly, but most of them stepped forward on condition of anonymity, which I've maintained. In a few cases, sources who originally were unattributable have decided that they can now be named, and so they are identified here. All of them played their part, and I want to acknowledge the importance of their help and of their willingness to take risks so that the story could be told. In 3 particular areas, my own work was backed up by specialist researchers. Jenny Evans, who built bridges to journalists who had worked on the news of the world. Adrian Gatton, who went into the netherworld of private investigation. And David Henke, who made good use of his long-standing links to politicians and their advisers. Tom Mills analysed press cuttings for me. Scarlett Maguire introduced me to contacts from the political world. I also drew on several dozen published books and in-depth articles which were listed in a bibliography on a website which is a companion to this book. www.hack-attack.co.uk. Occasionally I have identified them as sources in the text. I acknowledge all of them as valuable raw material. The emergence of this wealth of new information ended up changing the structure